proper seal. I said, but if you look at all the other boxes which we are yet to touch, you would with the improper seals.
So can I ask, in the face of what appears to be stonewalling by EBC, and you guys are just saying should, and what you think EBC should be done? There's a lawyer on the team. How far can you go with this? Because there's one half of the country that's pretty much seeing this as not making sense because their party wants elections and your half is seeing irregularities. So what can be done to convince everybody that this is really a serious issue to the other half of the country, and what is there within the law that you can do beyond just complaining to the EBC and being stonewalled?
So I want to take the point on convincing the public, right? Our role here is to present the facts as they are. We have not given you anything that's conjecture, anything that we've made up, anything that we've seen elsewhere. These are things that they would have witnessed over the past few days. They are giving you the facts as they are. And the public, we have full confidence in the public to be able to withstand any propaganda campaign to the contrary, because this is a well-educated public. They are well engaged, and what you see happening elsewhere and people trying to carry the conversation down a different path is not the majority of the people. The majority of the people are looking on and are aware that we've given the facts as they are, and we will continue to do so. Again, this is a critical, essential part of our democratic process, and we will continue to make sure that we are deliberate, that we come to you again with facts, not any stories that we heard somewhere. What they brought on the table here today are things that they have experienced, and we know we have full confidence in the people of Trinidad and Tobago to stand strongly behind the democratic process.
I know that parties still has objections, so the processes and procedures being used currently to just still think that they are irregularities being found and not
correct.
And then now we see there's obstruction of sorts by the BBC. What is next?
I wanna just be caution us against this. What is next and what? This is where we're at right now, right? We are being very deliberate to give you the information as they are at the moment. What you have are people on the other side telling you there's an obstruction and preventing them from doing their work. None of those things are true, right? So where we're at right now is that you have people standing here for the democratic process. We will continue to lay out the facts as they are, and when we get to the point of what's next, we'll say what's next, but not before.
Okay, but before you go, I just want to indicate one particular issue. The issue is that to issue the white paper, it takes a minimum, and we are being gracious, of 3 to 5 minutes. Normally it will go about 10 minutes if you have to actually take the oath. The normal white paper, you have to go to the book, you have to check it, okay? You have to bring it out, say yes, this person is in the book, and here is the white paper. Then you go through the process. So that takes a minimum of 3 to 5 minutes. If you have 140 or 50 of those, if you check the time, it is impossible to do each one properly. You will run out of time. So therefore, to have that amount in any one station means that something onwards was not right in the process. You cannot entertain that amount at any one station. And we have many stations with many poll cards, white poll cards that were issued. Okay, and I'm not talking about the one that where you have to actually write it in. That is even longer. So in the mix of the white poll cards are those that you have to actually write in as well. So it is impossible to issue that amount of white cards in any one polling station. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I don't know if I have the 6 answers, but on election day, aren't there representatives of both major parties at each polling division to pick up or point out any deficiencies as they may come along on election day?
Okay. So when you take some of the issues that are being raised in terms of persons coming in with no ID and whatnot, on election day, what they would be able to do is take notes of that, which would be recorded in the polling station diary. The only time you can get the magnitude of what took place is after the election day. Nobody's going to be able, or polling agents will not be able to say, wait, this is outing, or identify the person on the day. Certain things, and they very well know this, that some of these issues and the issues that we are pointing out here today are things that you can identify after the close of polls, because when they get the numbers.
So it could not be identified during the process.
Right.
I'm just asking.
No, but in addition to that, let me make it clear, in a number of some of these irregularities that we are raising today, Ms. John would have indicated that letters would have been written to the EBC on the day of election.
Correct.
In San Fernando West, some of the issues that we had, we wrote on the day of election. So I hear you when you are saying that there may have been some independent people who would have been in the station, correct. But these are some of the issues that were raised on the day itself.
Correct.
And corrective action in some of the instances were only taken at the end of the day. I could tell you for a fact in San Fernando with the issues that we had at the Gulfview Community Center, we went down there on about 3 or 4 occasions. We wrote about 3 or 4 letters and the responses were one thing. The corrective measures that were taken at that particular center only occurred at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
That actually took place in the polling station right opposite our elections office. We complained to the current RO, returning officer, and she affirmed to us that she will replace the presiding officer. When I came back 2 hours to check on that station, the same presiding officer was giving all the problems and causing the lines to be very lengthy, the process to be very lengthy and the lines to be very long. She was not changed. She was allowed to remain in place for the entire session until voting had closed. So this is just a lend support that it did not only happen in one constituency. It happened in ours as well in St. Joseph.
Ms. Haynes, cursory CNC is very delayed. One may ask, where is the political leader? The last time we saw her was on Monday, and after that we've seen posts on social media and we've seen you guys.
Yeah, our party system is set up where we have, and I raised this at the last press conference, appointment as public relations officer. I think everybody here is well aware that it is my job to treat with the press. We have brought forward the members from the candidates from the marginal constituency. Our political leader is doing the job that she's required to do at this very moment, but it is in fact my job to liaise with the press. Yes?
I have a question for Mr. Hackett as well. Hi, sir. You said one of the days during this week, some ballot boxes were counted without your presence, without you guys being there, and then counted up until 11 p.m. if I'm correct. I just wanted to know, since you went to ask for the recall, why is it that, what was the difficulty in staying there until 11 or having a representative oversee the recall?
Well, first of all, in any democratic process, there has to be reason. And it's reasonable that a time was set. And a time was set by the returning officer from 9 to 5. That was done on Tuesday afternoon. We were promptly there on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and they went beyond the time allotted by the returning officer against our protestations. Now, what is even more concerning is that on Friday, last night, 16 boxes were counted. That is mathematically impossible from 6 to 11. 16 boxes were counted.
Yeah, but what she's trying to say, why wasn't anyone staying back to watch the count?
Because a time was given by the returning officer.
So at when the time was given by the returning officer,
9 to 5.
see that the counting was going beyond 6. Why didn't somebody stay?
So nobody has an issue with the fact that the count goes on?
I don't understand your questioning. First of all, your questioning is an insult to the intelligence of the democratic process. If we agreed on a time, there was consensus that a time should have 9 to 5, and we have our polling agents, we have our legal present. You cannot come and say that why we didn't stay because they decided against all protocols and against the democratic process to continue. That is madness.
So wait,
Did the ABC ask for an extension? Ask you to
No,
stay?
they did not ask. PNM Legal said they were prepared to stay, and the EBC said that they would stay. That is not democratic. There has to be consensus like there was on Tuesday when we agreed on a time between all parties.
Allowed to stay?
There's not. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. There was a time allotted given by the EBC, 9 to 5, agreed on by all parties. There was consensus. That is democratic. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we agreed to that process, follow that process, and they continue to count after the allotted time, from 6 to 11 in our absence. 25 ballot boxes. Listen again. 25 ballot boxes were counted without any UNC representative being there.
Right. What we keep asking, Mr. Naked,
Just one
is
second.
that at the time the offender came,
Okay.
at that time, did the UNC representative...
I want to just,
yourself-
one second. Let me, yeah. Hello. Just 1 second, 1 second. That's 1 second, right? What everybody at this table would have gone through pains is to explain that it's not a simple recounting. You're not just watching where the X is, right? It is a verification of the ballots. It is an intense process, right? Now we have one team telling you speed it along. We want to get this thing over now. If we had to count till 12 o'clock, we have to, let us be reasonable here as citizens, right? The question being posed to Mr. Naked at this point in time is quite frankly unfair. If you agree to a time, and then arbitrarily decide that you're switching in time, you are suggesting that our thing is, so if they say we stay in there 24 hours, we're supposed to say, yeah, no problem. This is unfair. What you are asking, the question that you are asking is unfair. The question that we need to ask is whether or not the returning officer agreed to a time. 9 to 5? Yes. One group asks for the time to change. Ask the question now, why was the time changed without consensus? And that is what the question needs to be, and that's where you'll get the answers you're looking for. Not that why didn't we just all comply and everybody go on, but why is it that one side can ask for a change to an agreed upon decision, and then everybody goes along with it, no questions asked? It cannot be, could never be accepted.
And to Anita's point, we are not counting marbles here. There's not two neighbors counting marbles. These are the votes of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. This is something important. This is not something that you want to expedite quickly so that Raleigh could be satisfied with himself to form a government. No, that's not how it is. We have to make sure that that government is legitimate. No one must be afraid to say that. We have to make sure that this government is legitimate, and that is the duty of all of us here. So when I hear those questions that you all are posing, why we didn't stay longer, that is a ridiculous question in itself.
It's nothing that's known as a UNC. For those who are arguing that it was deliberately at this juncture or that juncture frustrating the process. Do you understand?
Well, why don't you ask the people? Why don't you ask the people who are asking you those questions? Who is frustrating the process? Tell me, given what we have told you, what have we done wrong in the process?
Yeah.
There's nothing we have done wrong. We have followed the guidelines of the EBC. We have come to a consensus on the time allocated. We have followed that as well. There's nothing we have not done. If you can show me one thing we have done, I personally will end this recount. We have done everything that we were told to do. We have followed it. You cannot count in a democratic process 25 ballot boxes in the absence of one of the parties and then call it democratic. It's ridiculous.
Well, the parties didn't want to stick around.
You cannot say. Let me deal with this count. You cannot say. As I said before.
Yeah, that's not.
We are not counting marbles between you and your partner. We counting here votes of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. You cannot go and count votes by yourself and then say that is democratic. You have to understand that, son.
Mr. Naked, someone is concerned about your nationality. Because you played and scored a goal for Lebanon.
Correct. I played and scored a wonderful goal the last minute for Lebanon. Any other questions? Thank you.
Yeah.
I was a guest player.
But FIFA recognized it as a full international.
I just want to...
That's impossible. It was between two club teams.
Listen, Someone,
It was a beautiful goal. Go on YouTube and look at it. Free kick against Egypt. Sorry.
It was the equalizer
All
or the vote for the...
It was the equalizer.
thank you very much, everybody.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions that are not ridiculous? Okay, thank you.
Oh.